There has been a lot of talk about artificial intelligence, or AI, in the past several months, especially since ChatGPT debuted last fall. There has been a lot of debate about whether AI will be a useful tool for creatives, saving them time and money, or if it will be the downfall of civilization. There are legitimate fears that AI may end up eliminating a lot of jobs and ultimately result in cheap art that's no longer made by humans, but something that's spit out by a machine. As with any man-made tool, there are pros and cons to AI. As the saying goes, you can use a hammer to build a house, or you can use it to knock someone in the head. In this video, I'll go through some ways in which, as a writer and a filmmaker, I already use AI, some new ways in which I'm just starting to experiment with AI, and some ways I can see myself using AI in the future. One way that I currently use AI is for basic grammar and spell check in Microsoft Word when I'm writing. As an author, I write both fiction and nonfiction. As part of Generation X, I've seen technology evolve. Growing up in the 80s, I learned to type on a typewriter in high school. I lived through the era of typewriters and remember when Microsoft Word was introduced, and when word processors started becoming more common back in the 90s. I remember saving files to floppy disks and printing documents out on dot matrix printers. These inventions were not looked at as harmful, they were looked at as lifesavers decades ago. Thankfully, technology has come a long way since then. Being able to use spell check and grammar check in Microsoft Word and services like Grammarly to proofread and fine-tune your writing has been helpful. You could certainly argue that these tools are taking jobs away from editors and proofreaders. But for something simple, like a short story or a news article, I'm not going to hire a professional editor, so simple AI tools in Microsoft Word or a service like Grammarly work just fine. One AI tool that I definitely don't use when I'm writing in Microsoft Word is predictive text. I turn off predictive text in Word when I'm writing fiction. I don't like the software trying to predict the words that I'm going to write next. I don't mind predictive text or autocorrect when I'm sending someone a text, although a lot of times autocorrect is wrong or it doesn't quite have the right tone I'm trying to strike. I also don't mind predictive text when I'm writing an email. But when writing fiction, I feel like all the words should come out of my own head. Using predictive text when writing fiction is the equivalent of an artist using a color by numbers template to paint a picture. That's not really using your own talent. One way that I'm just starting to experiment with AI is through an app called Genius Scan. Sometimes I write longhand when I'm logging ideas for books, movies, and other creative projects. I still carry around a notebook because it's not always convenient for me to break out my phone or a tablet or my laptop to type out an idea. Sometimes in the wee hours of the morning, I wake up and can't get back to sleep, so I'll write down ideas I have. I don't want to turn on my phone or computer because it's too easy to get lost in a news notification or pull up a YouTube video that's going to cause me to go down a rabbit hole and lose even more sleep. Genius Scan is an app that allows you to scan handwritten or typewritten text and convert the text into a digital file. I'll put the link to a Genius Scan tutorial in the description of this video. Another way I use AI is to dictate ideas. In the morning when I'm getting ready to go to my day job, I dictate my ideas into an email to myself with my iPhone. A lot of times, the dictation has errors and I have to edit the text. That's an example of using AI as a tool, and then using my human touch to perfect it. Another way I use AI is converting speech to text. I sometimes record my ideas and even scripts for YouTube videos by using the voice memo app on my iPhone. I upload the recording to a site called Scribby that converts audio to text for a very reasonable price, depending on the length of the recording. The converted text is usually pretty accurate, but just like the dictation technology on my phone, I always have to use my human touch to edit the text. I'll put the link to Scribby in the description of this video. I'm not getting any kickback or payment to promote any of the technology that I mention in this video. I'm just passing on information. Another way in which I currently use AI is through Adobe Premiere video editing software. Adobe Premiere has a relatively new feature that enables you to generate subtitles. This feature is extremely helpful, and will save time and money so that I don't have to type out the subtitles myself, which is extremely tedious, or pay a service to create subtitles. I also use AI in the form of a teleprompter app called Parrot that enables me to read video scripts when I'm making videos like this one. No, I don't have someone who can hold up cue cards for me to read from when I'm making a video, so the teleprompter app is very convenient. So, how do I plan to use AI in the future? One of the ways I can see using AI in the future is by having the technology serve as an automated beta reader. As a fiction author, you often seek the input of beta readers, who are fans of the genre you write in. These readers will review your manuscript and tell you what they like and what they don't like about the story. For this task, I would use AI to complement, not replace, a human being. There are a lot of paid services in which you can have an industry professional evaluate your book manuscript or movie script. The problem with paid services is that, with movie scripts, these industry professionals hand down valued judgments on whether or not your script is worthy of being turned into an actual movie. As a writer, I don't necessarily want somebody to tell me whether or not my script is commercial. An advantage of AI is that you can program the technology to simply tell you the strengths and weaknesses of your writing, where there might be plot holes, where dialogue is clunky, and where to eliminate repetitive storylines or dull characters. I think that would be useful. I could also see using AI to create three-dimensional storyboards before shooting a movie to demonstrate how each scene will be shot. Yet another use of AI that I could see myself adopting in the future is buying or renting a self-driving car. This type of vehicle would come in very handy when traveling to different destinations for location scouting, when finding sites to film scenes for a movie, holding movie screenings, or doing speaking engagements. It would be such a relief not to have to worry about driving to far-off destinations when it's too expensive to fly or if there's no train or bus available. Another potential use for AI, and I don't know if this type of AI already exists, is that it could serve as quality control for a movie that has already been produced. The AI could tell a filmmaker, this shot is too blurry, and you need to go back and reshoot it. So in this regard, AI could serve as a complement to test screenings in which audiences watch a movie and tell the filmmaker what they like and don't like. AI could serve as a second set of eyes to help make the movie as strong as possible before it's screened for a live audience. Another way I can see using AI in the future is for songwriting. I have a lot of ideas for songs, but I'm not a musician and I don't know how to write melodies or come up with beats. Well, sometimes I come up with beats and melodies, but they're very primitive, and oftentimes, they're derivative of songs I've heard before. Being able to use AI to make demo tapes of the dozens and dozens of songs that I've written lyrics to over the years is exciting. AI would enable me to compose songs to be used as background music or montages in the movies that I plan to make in the future. I could use AI to make demo tapes to give to a human composer and let them know, this is what I have in mind for the film score or a song playing over the closing credits. So, those are some ways in which I currently use AI, some ways that I'm just beginning to experiment with AI, and ways that I anticipate using AI in the future, if the technology evolves to that point. Of course, there are a lot of ethical questions raised by AI that we as human beings are still grappling with. There's no simple answer or silver bullet that will keep AI from eliminating jobs or taking over the world. Ideally, writers, filmmakers, and other creatives can use AI in a similar fashion to how good musicians use Pro Tools software and other automated tools. Prince's distinctive sound was generated by electronic drum machines and synthesizers, but his royal badness also knew how to play piano and real drums, and 20 other instruments. He didn't over-rely on digital tools, but used them as an enhancement. By the way, the newest way that I'm using AI is a service called Speech-Allo that generated the narration for this video. I'll drop the link to this service in the description of this video. I'm experimenting to see how I can save time in creating videos, using AI narration here and there, not in every video. Admittedly, this narrator doesn't sound like me, but it frees up time that I'd be recording the narration myself. Recording narration can be very time-consuming because I tend to make a lot of very human errors when speaking. What are your thoughts about AI? Please leave a comment and give me your feedback.
If you like this video, please leave a comment, share it, and subscribe to my channel.